Jane, it's that time of the year. It's that time of the year when Dak goes shopping. Is he going Balenciaga this year for the linemen? What kind? Are we working Merces? Like, what are we doing for Dak's shopping? Is he buying gifts for the team? What can you tell me about Dak?
You're a label guy. The last time I was on your show, you talked about some bag that Zeke got Dak.
The Goyard bag?
I don't know. I live.
Goyard.
I'm about fashion brands in the year 2026. I'm already in the future, Jane. It's like Kanye West over here.
Well, it's so
I am wearing
funny.
a shacket.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with this. A bunch of football players wear this spray ground. And I love it. And so shout out to Spray Ground. But it's these unique looking bags and luggage that look like $1,400 Louis Vuitton bags. I think I paid $300 for one suitcase, and then I've got a duffel bag that's like $120. But everyone thinks I'm the bougiest chick in the airport because it's all matching. But honestly, it's really cheap stuff. And every time people ask me about it, I'm like, oh yeah, go to Spray Ground. So Spray Ground, hit me up. I need some new stuff. But I'm not a big label chick. I've never owned a pair of Christian Louboutins or any of that.
Well, Dak is. I remember that last year was such a thing of him buying stuff for the team or whatever. But talk to me about Dak and his health right now. That was also a big issue last summer. I remember with the Hard Knock stuff. So what do you expect from Dak this season?
That was a crazy thing coming into training camp is we were all shocked at how healthy that, the ankle had healed. And then he gets that, the injury in his non-throwing shoulder. And we're like, what is that? Or in his throwing shoulder. And it was a pitching, something that pitchers deal with. And we find out they're consulting with the Rangers, and I think it was the Yankees. And that was just a curious one where we didn't see him much of camp. But when you talk to him, mini camp OTAs, he just had a camp here in Dallas, he'll tell you this is the healthiest he's been. And of course, I get that we get into these famous, it's the camp storyline, best shape ever, healthiest he's ever been, has had an awesome off season working out with his personal trainer. I get that. But I think more importantly, it's his mental mindset. Keep in mind too, not only did he deal with that ankle injury, he lost his brother to suicide. I think there was a lot of question marks, around that big contract. And then, of course, you also had this new coaching staff. And in the first year, it was a disaster, right? And so I just think as a group, I was saying to somebody the other day, it felt more normal around there. And I felt like even Mike McCarthy, even though it's sort of a pressure cooker situation for him, all that coaching staff is in their final year, he even felt a little lighter. I just think those guys, specifically Mike and that staff, they do better with the guys in front of them in the practice room. They're like some of our parents. They're not good with technology, and you saw that on the football field. It was a disaster the first season. And so I just feel like everyone's kind of hit their groove. In fact, I saw Kenny and Mike at the Kenny Chesney concert backstage, and they were, all besties. And so the stuff that they're not going to basketball games in Duke like Jason and Mike Jason and Dak, but at least we're seeing that relationship building that I hadn't really gotten to see. And maybe it was there, but with COVID, we just didn't get to. It feels more normal. It feels like these guys, their mindsets are in a better place than they were heading into even last season.